No, it's gonna fall out of my car.
The only two coasters of any significance that I didn't do yesterday, I won't bother with Dark Knight. It's just a wild mouse. I did front row last ride. First time doing front row on Goliath. That might be my favorite ride I've ever had on it. The airtime in the back is the strongest, but it's still pretty strong in front also.
Why did it do that? I had to hold on.
So then it's going to stop.
It's your closing. The articles before board. No items may be held in the hands of riders.
What's that?
At all times, and your head against the headrest. Secure your hats and glasses. Yeehaw!
So I did Goliath 6 times earlier today. In about an hour and a half or so. Had a short line early. Did American Eagle once. Better ride today than yesterday. Done the Wizard. Did Demon 4 times. Always love that. And I just did Raging Bull. I thought it was a very good ride. Yeah, Raging Bull's won me over now. Don't know where I'd put it among the B&M Hypers. Somewhere around the area of like Diamondback or Intimidator. Maybe not quite as good as those, but still really good. It's a twister layout, so it's different from what B&M Hypers usually are. But I like the twister section here in the second half. That was pretty cool. It's just different, something unique. It's not all just up and down, up and down. And I rode back row. That is definitely the way to go on this. Although I haven't done front row yet, so at least it was 2 years ago that I did front row. I did next to last row last night, did back row today. When you're in the back row, you get crazy ejector air time on that first drop. Max Force is growing on me now. Got my third ride on it. Got in the coveted row 6. It is assigned seating. And depending on certain things, they may or may not let you request front or back.
Welcome to Max Force. We only have 30 seconds to get this train moving.
See the things drop.
Seatbelt, seatbelt.
So a 40-minute wait to get on Superman Ultimate Flight on a day that's not really that busy. These Ultimate Flight flyers, the 3 of them, kind of all the same in the sense that you have to walk a long, long ways to get to the station. You have to walk a long, long ways to get back out. I don't know why they put the station so far away from the entrance. And you got a great pretzel loop at the beginning, you got a nice inline twist at the end, and a whole lot of nothing in between. It's not really I mean, as far by flyer standards, it's not really that great. But then again, the only ones that I would say are great are Tatsu and Manta, and I love those. But these Superman flyers are just okay. And they get such a long line. Like I said, this isn't a busy day, so 40 minutes for Superman at this park is not bad. That just tells you how long of a line this thing can get. And it is a Flash Pass magnet. It's probably about a 1-to-1 ratio between Flash Pass and non-Flash Pass people who are on the train. Flash Pass people just flood this, and I noticed that at Six Flags Over Georgia too. Very much. A lot of Flash Pass people come to that Superman Ultimate Flight. Now, I only rode the one at Great Adventure one time, and that was on a dead day because of impending storms. So, I don't know how that one normally works. Deuce Joker, single rider will get you on a lot quicker. Well, they fixed whatever the issue was with Batman the Ride, and it quickly turned into a walk-on again. Just got 5 rides in under 30 minutes. It's definitely a cool ride now that it's getting darker. Well, it's a cool ride no matter when, but with how it goes through the trees and over the water. But now with the police cars and lights, you can see it during the ride, although it goes by like a blur. I got a couple night rides on Goliath, a couple night rides on X-Flight, so that was nice. My 2 favorite rides in the park. Got night rides on both. Both Goliath and X-Flight are awesome night rides for sure. So is Raging Bull. This park is definitely the park of amazing first drops. Goliath is one of the best RMC drops. Raging Bull is one of the best B&M Hyper first drops. In fact, I think Raging Bull might be the very best of the B&M Hyper first drops. Well, X-Flight, of course, has a great drop. Gatekeepers is better because they're identical, but Gatekeepers is higher and faster. But still, that's a great drop. Demon is the best Aero first drop, other than X2, of course. Without a doubt, the best part about Max Force is that people aren't running to Goliath at the start. So I'll be able to ride this plenty before the crowds get here. Hopefully. It just depends on how many people know better. How many people know that the RMC is still clearly the best ride at this park? You got the GP that are going to run to Raging Bull, and of course Max Force is going to be popular because it's new, and people neglect the best ride in the park early on. So it'll be short lines early. On a Saturday, I got 10 rides on Goliath in the first hour and a half. Max Force probably is, I'm sure, has helped out with that to keep the line down here. But the regular line is still not even maybe 30 minutes, probably right 15, 20 minutes. This airtime right here, that one right there, that is very strong. Love that dive loop. This is my favorite part. And you get airtime going into and out of these turnarounds. It's like you got. It's kind of like you got wave turns. This is that was my 10th ride. It's kind of like wave turns going into and out of the turnarounds. Very unique. And I got 10 rounds, but several of those I just went through the regular line because it was so short. Didn't need the single rider line. Done the single rider line maybe 3 or 4 of the 10 rides.
Lap close up. Yay. Lap close up. Lap close up. Lap close up.
This is my favorite place to eat in the park, but it's Saturday. Got a line out the door. So I may not use it today, but it's been my favorite the last couple days. Strutters, it's near the Whizzer entrance. I noticed that trim on that airtime hill. Still get good airtime, but it'd be so much better without the trim.
Tickets are available now at the ticket sales booth located by the turnstile. Farmers Swim Lane. All attractions at Hurricane Hall.
Viper, it's a fun ride. Terrible operations, really slow. Most of it is the guest's fault, of course.
All right, Willie.
Yeah, at the end of my first full day, I was saying I like this better than American Eagle for sure. Now yesterday's ride on American Eagle and today's ride on Viper, I think I might like American Eagle more. Get some very mild floater airtime, although my rides the other night were in the evening time, so it was probably hauling then. May not be going as fast right now. American Eagle, the ride on, oh, I don't remember the colors, but the left side, that was much better than my ride on the right side. But I do like how this one goes in and out of its own structure. Definitely not disappointed in my Goliath experience on this trip. A little bit of disappointment with my second favorite ride at the park, X-Flight, in the sense that it consistently has the longest line in the park. It just goes to show you that enthusiasts might not care much for wing coasters, although I'm the exception to that rule. But in general, these rides are tremendously popular. It certainly is here. I got 3 rides in my 3 days here. 2 of them were night rides, 2 in a row last night. And I waited the hour to ride it the one day, but that was on a Thursday. It being a Saturday, it might be double that. Round 15. I got an airtime headache. Alright, I waited out 2 delays, 2 hours, to get one last ride on Max Force. But I got on it. So now I can feel good about leaving the park and not feeling like I need to come back anytime soon. Because it is kind of a pain to get here, and it is just such a crowded park. I wanted to be fully satisfied so that I didn't feel like I need to come back here like next year or the year after or anything like that. I'll wait until they get something else new before I come back again. Got lots of rides on Goliath, got 4 on Max Force, which I would say is a good ride, but it's a supporting ride at best. Not worth this kind of wait. Unless you just haven't done it once, or unless you're like me and you just want to feel like you got the full taste of it before leaving. If I was a local, I don't think I'd probably pick my spots to come here and ride this when I wouldn't have to wait too long for it. Learn the ropes, learn when to come when there wouldn't be too much of a wait. If you're traveling here, I would say just get a couple of rides, be satisfied, and move on. Had a good time overall. Got 26 laps on Goliath. Only got 3 rides on X-Flight, which was disappointing. Got 4 rides on Max Force, which, considering the lines, considering how crazy crowded this park gets, I ought to be happy with the 4 rides. Though that last one was frustrating, going through 2 downtimes. I feel like a park that gets this kind of crazy attendance should have better rides overall. Now, Goliath, I do consider to be an elite coaster, but by RMC standards, it might not be elite, but overall coaster standards, I think it is elite. But I think it takes more than that to justify the kind of waits that you're going to have at this park. Because if you come on a light day, which I was here on a couple light days, you still got pretty decent waits. Now, you can be smart about it, you can manage it well, like I was able to, but you still got waits. And there goes Max Force. This is in a highly populated area, so it's going to draw in huge crowds, and the lineup isn't at the level of like Cedar Point, even though the crowds are. And so to wrap it up, if you're thinking of coming out here, I would say it is worth the trip out here, but just be prepared for big crowds. If you've been here before and you want to come back out for Max Force, well, I would say, I don't know if I would recommend coming out just because of Max Force. It's a fun ride, but I don't know if it justifies travel, long distance travel, just for this ride if you've done all the others. And I had done most of the others, but I also didn't get the full experience. I wanted some re-rides. I wanted to get a better overall experience, and I was able to do that. So if that's you and you had just a minimal experience and you want a more overall experience, then yeah, I'd say come out here. Max Force is a nice and extra incentive to go ahead and come on out here, get the full experience. But I would say if you've already had that, Max Force isn't worth traveling long distance just for it. It's a fun ride, but it's a supporting coaster. It's nothing elite.